What? Oh well, I stopped at Starbucks on the way to the studio this morning, and I was standing behind this couple who obviously just moved here because I overheard the lady tell her husband, it was actually 31 last night. It looks like winter's here. I mean, I didn't even have the heart to tell her, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Bum, bum, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. Oh, yeah. Wait till she gets to Starbucks and what? About rodeo time in January when it's, 48,000 below zero? The funny thing is, by this Wednesday, it's going to be 75? By Friday, it's almost going to be 80 again. It's October in Montana, or should I say, Rocktober in Montana. Rock, rock till you drop, barrel. Rock, rock, never stop. All right, man, it's Rocktober. What a good month. I mean, what could go wrong with rocking the whole month long of Rocktober? I mean, come on. Not only is October Rocktober, but it's the only month where all the major professional sports are in play at the same time. All right? You got college football. You got professional football. You got hockey. You got the NBA. You got baseball, but only if your team made it to the playoffs. Well, if you're lucky, you got your team in the playoffs, like I do. Hence the Detroit, Tigers, yeah. We play what? We won Saturday up in Seattle. Game 2 is tonight. I think Skybull's on the mound tonight, Andy. He's our ace. He's our last year's Cy Young winner, so that's who you want pitching in Game 2, especially when you're up 1-0. 5-game series. Then we'll play, if we win this series, we'll play the winner of what's going on with Toronto and New York. Toronto's up a game there, too. So, the coolest thing, it's pretty cool when your teams are winning, You're all of them win. That's even better, All your teams are playing, like in a weekend period, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Saturday, Sunday. All your teams are playing, all your teams are winning. All right. Go Blue. All right. They're all winning. All right. Where are we at, Andy? Before we get any further, remember to give this podcast a like. Give me a big thumbs up, all right? No thumbs down, no being like Caligula or something. We're not that there, And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of any and all new content, and you'll have a chance to win fabulous prizes and participate in our Monday morning poll. Andy, we got a question up there this morning. We do. Are we more divided than ever? What, are you talking about you and me? Or no, we as a country? But we're okay though, right? Yep, all right. But as a country, are we more divided than ever? I can answer that, polled. I can do that. Can I answer that? I think we are. I think that social media is a lot to blame. I mean, some of the posts that I see people, some of the stuff they're sharing is absolutely blatantly, if they did a lick, just a teeny bit of research, they would realize that what they're posting is not only false, but the link that they're posting it with, it goes to a spam pop-up site. No, I don't correct them. I leave people to their own devices online. I have a podcast I can spout out there. And they share the stuff that fits any agenda that they're wanting. So I think it's sad. I don't know how many artists, athletes, singers, actors, athletes that I've seen in the last week doing some sort of benefit that shocked the crowd by the outpouring of this. And then there's, of course, the link I told you, and it takes you right to Pop-Upville. Yeah, Pop-Upville. I said it. All right, where's my prop? Where is it? All right, there it is. And this morning's podcast is brought to you in part each and every Monday morning by our good friends down at the Great Falls Gazette. Locally owned, locally operated, with local reporters reporting on local stories that matter to you. Pick up your copy today. What's on yesterday's Sunday? We got a Lego store opening, and Great Falls are still seeking information on stolen teepees that were stolen from Chief Joseph Elementary and Loy. And what kind of person steals a teepee? I mean, come on. But, I'm not on the cover, though. Again, right. But if I ever was, I'm going to buy 5 copies for my mother. Hey, gonna see my smiley face on the cover of the Great Falls Gazette. Oh, yeah. Never gets old, that bit. It's getting old. It's getting real old. All they got to do is put me on the cover. I'll probably make the back page CrimeStoppers, America's most wanted by the Criminal Minds Unit for a criminally insane podcast. Who do we got on back? We got Cody, Lisa, Justin, and Curtis, all wanted by the Great Falls Police Department. You see any of these folks? Give CrimeStoppers a call. Let's get crime. Let's take a bite out of crime. Who said that? McGruff the crime dog said it. All right. Good morning. It is Rocktober 6th. And looking out the window, looking up at the clock. Oh, heck, looking up at the clock. If you're listening right now and you needed to be to work by 8, I hate to tell you, but you're late. You're about 10 after. So, yeah, it's cool out this morning. And it was cool. Cool this weekend. It cold on Sunday. Well, not cold like the lady in Starbucks cold, but it was cool. Yeah. So, what do we got on a cool, clear Rocktober Monday morning? A little rock trivia maybe for the first week of Rocktober? Andy, do we got a little trivia? Well, of course we do. This week, Rocktober 6th, Starship. We built this city on rock and roll. Oh, it was voted the worst song of all time, according to a fan poll conducted by the Rolling Stone magazine, 2011. That song winks. That's all I got to say. And on this day, we had 2 notable rock legends die. In 2019, Ginger Baker, drummer for the supergroup Cream, in a white room with black curtains by the station. Bow, bow, bow. He died at 80 years old after a short illness. You know, Cream, they were, the Wheels of Fire, Disraeli Gears, Goodbye Cream. I mean, they had some kick-butt albums. And in 2020, guitar virtuoso Eddie Van Halen, running with the devil. Oh yeah, barrel, barrel, barrel. Eddie Van Halen died at 65 years old. He had a long battle with mouth cancer, tongue cancer, throat. Basically, Eddie Van Halen's an excellent example of how smoking will kill you. Eddie was diagnosed with mouth cancer, had to have surgery to remove part of his tongue, blamed the cancer on metal guitar picks, which he always had, and then continued to smoke. I never saw a picture, a video, an interview, concert footage, anything where Eddie wasn't smoking like a chimney. So, he knew he had cancer. He knew we all loved the band. We knew we all loved him as a fans, and he continued to smoke. So, both Ginger Baker and Eddie Van Halen left. They're both in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They both left big impressions on rock history. Yeah. I think Eddie was avoidable. I do. I do. So, all right. On with the show, Andy. A little Rocktober trivia there for everybody. What do we got next week? Got some more cool rock and roll stuff coming up the whole month of Rocktober. So, all right, last week, the government finally represented the people when it completely shut down. Honestly, didn't it feel like the government needed a break just so we could all catch our breath? As of this morning, the government is still shut down. As of like 6 o'clock, I haven't looked at any news or anything, but as of this morning when we got here, government is still shut down. Washington has been in session for a couple hours now, so maybe by the time we get out of the studio, it won't be shut down. Whose chance? Fat chance? Did you say fat generals and admirals or just fat chance? Okay. All right, just checking. Of course, government shutdowns are nothing new. There's been quite a few in my lifetime. In all, totally in our history, we've had 21 government shutdowns. 21 government shutdowns? So we had 21, so we're all of legal age now, in shutdown age. All right. Most government shutdowns are pretty much relatively short, pretty quick. Day, maybe. I guess has voted a couple times already. We're in day 6, I think. Day 5 or 6. They always, no matter what you're doing, they always disrupt everything. It's all an increased cost for the government which that means it's increased cost. They can't get along, so they do this. Now it's an increased cost to run the government, and who do you think's going to pay for this? Bingo, you're right. We the U.S. taxpayers, okay, and we're paying all this because nobody's working. A whole bunch of people aren't be working. What do we have? 16-day shutdown from October 1st through the 17th that's 2013, took $24 billion out of the economy. If you remember now that this was the shutdown that was forced by the Republican majority in the House of Representatives, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to get President Barack Obama to repeal the Affordable Care Act. What is it with the Republicans and affordable health care for Americans? That whole, you need to pay your fair share, and I get that, but, the insurance company charges an arm, a leg, and your firstborn male child, so nowhere in the world do people pay what we pay in America. Nowhere in the world. Okay? But, okay, I know the answer to the question that I just asked. I said, why are we... It's Big Pharma, right? Anyway, a shutdown means we're running the country only on essential services, which makes me wonder the rest of the time, what are those non-essential people doing? Why do we even have them? Okay, if they're only running essential services, what are they doing the rest of the time? Okay, today our current shutdown ranks at the 5th longest in history. Am I seeing all this right, Andy? 5th longest, wow. So what else can we expect? Well, I know when the shutdowns, everybody's like, what's going to happen? The sky is falling, Okay. Social Security Administration will continue to issue retirement benefits, disability benefits, but they will furlough about 12% of its staff, and then they're going to pause all the marketing campaigns. Pause the marketing campaigns. What the hell are they doing commercials for? Either you're disabled, retired, or paying into it, working. Well, they got campaigns. Did I see this? Okay. Marketing. All right. Payments will continue under Medicaid. Well, Social Security doesn't need people because checks are all generated. Disability and Social Security checks are computers. That's some guy writing a check in his office. It's all computer. You're in a computer. You're listed there. They got your date the checks go out. Each person, they get their check on a allotted day. What about payments? Payments of Medicaid and Medicare health programs. Those will continue. The supplemental nutritional assistance program, that's SNAPs or food benefits, and the supplemental nutritional program for women, infants, and children, that's known as WIC. That will continue as long as funds allow. That's kind of scary. Isn't that what they're arguing about, is funds allowing for healthy versus... It always comes down to health. What about our mail? We're going to the U.S. Postal Service. Well, they're not affected because they don't look to Congress for funding. Okay, that's not who they are. So, yeah, that's that includes like post office and financial institutions like banks, the stock market. That's all going to be going. You're going to get your Social Security check. It's going to go to your bank, to your direct deposit. You're going to be able to go pick it up. Everything will be fine. Okay? If you're on WIC, you're on STAPS, your card will be whatever loaded, whatever it's supposed to do it. That's all computer generated. What we'll lose is the non-essential, which again, what are they doing anyway? Okay? Air traffic controllers. 13,000 air traffic controllers will continue working without pay till the shutdown ends. And most of the TSA workers will continue working also. Oh, great. We got to keep up dealing with the TSA people. Great, wonderful, love it. Okie dokie then. All right. What else do we got here? We got 2 million. We got 2 million U.S. military personnel that will remain at their post without pay until the shutdown ends. And that's including fat generals and fat admirals. National Guard deployed to American cities. Yeah, American Guard, that's how many cities? They got to be in Chicago or talking to LA. They've been everywhere. Washington, D.C. Right, they'll continue to do that, but they won't get paid. Okay? Who else have we got? We got the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Coast Guard. They're all on the job. They're all no pay? No pay. The Justice Department, which is usually, and I say they are usually not affected. They're off. The Justice Department is not working during a shutdown, just like the Congress, like your senators, your representatives. They're not working. Why are they working? They're working because they have to administrate. They have to administrate all the immigration courts in the system, and that they're largely going to have to stay on the job because Donald Trump, the President Trump, has declared illegal immigration a national emergency, and I'm putting that in quotations because a national emergency gives the president quite a bit of power if he wants it. And that's before the Supreme Court. Yeah, they're not going to get paid, but they're going to still be doing court. Immigration's going to be working. Right, this is the second shutdown that we've had under a Trump administration. The first was in 2019. The government shut down over 16 billion for the border wall, which Trump promised that Mexico would pay for it. Evidently, that's not how things work. They wanted all the money. The government, it's evidently it became the longest shutdown in history. Neither side getting what they wanted. Today's shutdown, that one lasted quite a while. They ended up getting $1 billion for the wall. Yeah, that's when they finally shutdowns. They always make concessions, try to meet halfway. I don't see that happening right now. Today's shutdown has to do with healthcare. Facebook and social media would want you to believe that this present shutdown is because Democrats want health care for illegal aliens, and that's not what that's not even close to. Again, we're going back to social media where people are sharing stuff that they're not researching that fits their agenda, and the Democrats are not causing this because they want health care for illegals. It's not even close because health care can't be had by illegals. The federal statute, okay, number 8 USC 161 says undocumented immigrants are ineligible for any and all types of public benefits. Medicaid CHIPs are not open to undocumented immigrants. Medicare, they're not even close. They're not eligible, period. Okay? What this is all about is that the big, beautiful bill repeals the Affordable Care Act payments and favors Big Pharma again. For instance, I pay approximately $80-some-odd a month for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. The bill repeals that. My rates would go to approximately $3,800 a month. And that's even if my insurance would keep me because Affordable Care Act took me in because of pre-existing conditions. Okay. Right. So if it goes from 80, I can handle 80. Okay. 3,800, I can't handle 3,800 a month. That's just, and that's what it's about. And it's about the Affordable Care Act being repealed and messed with once again. You know, the Affordable Care Act for Americans having health care that is affordable seems to be a problem. So that's what it's all about. Okay? Your memes can say what they want to say. Okay? But federal statutes say, no, California isn't doing it. No, New York isn't doing it. Federal law prohibits. I worked at an agency that did Medicaid bills. You cannot believe the hoops you have to jump through just to get that stuff. And they check on you all the time. What? Yep, ICE is still working. They're going to still be working and arresting children during this shutdown. I see over the weekend that Kristi Noem said that ICE was going to work. No, they were not gonna. They are definitely working during the Super Bowl this year. They're going to definitely be there. Bad Bunny plays at halftime. A lot of controversy, a lot of people talking out about that, but, you know, he is an American. He's Puerto Rican, and he is American and citizen. I've already heard references to that. So, you know, ICE is going to be there. So, why would ICE be at the Super Bowl? I mean, how many illegal immigrants in this country can afford Super Bowl tickets? I mean, come on. I mean, you know, I know that's Bad Bunny. You know, they're worried about his entourage, and they're worried about, you know, the people that are helping him because they're questioning that if Puerto Rican is that really a U.S. citizen, so ICE is going to be there. When did all this happen to be a big deal? And I am so tired of people telling me they hate my neighbors. I just can't stand it anymore. You know, hate your neighbor, hate your neighbor. That's all you get. How many illegals can... So whether they think illegals are going to be working at the Super Bowl or just going to the Super Bowl? Again, how many illegals are going to be able to afford Super Bowl tickets? I mean, those are what, thousands? Well, those cost more than my insurance premiums. That would go up to $38K. I couldn't go to the Super Bowl for $3,800. I couldn't even pay my insurance rates for $3,800. So, you know, go deal with that one. All right. Bad buddy. I didn't really know who he was, but I kind of did. But, you know, how we doing on time? We're out of time. My, how time flies when you're having a good time. All right. Remember, spay and neuter, adopt, don't shop, foster, rescue, volunteer. You can even donate, but adopt a shelter pet today. Andy, till next week, we are out of here.